Yeah, ain't shit sweet, ain't shit funny. Look, it's blue tints on my hundreds. Life been going how I want it. Yeah. Life been lit just how I want it. Yeah. Now she talking like she want me. Yeah. Hey, wave.
What's up, guys? Welcome to the Cold Hard Football Fact Show for August 9th, 2022. Hope you're doing well and hope you're ready for some NFL football. We're almost there, guys. TikTok, YouTube, we're almost there. We have preseason games starting this week. Every team in action for the preseason. Very excited about that, in addition to what we had last week with the Hall of Fame game. So we're almost there. We're almost there. It's been a long, cold winter, long, cold spring, hot summer, but football is back. Teams are back. We got injuries happening. We got teams winning money for us in preseason. We got quarterbacks stepping up. We got a lot of news around the league we're going to talk about here. All that stuff in a few minutes. Before we get to that, let's get to the comments. Got to love the comments here. Tanner, you got court today. The fuck at least put a Dodgers fit on. Come on now, David. I look good. The suit looks good. It gets me in the mindset to talk some NFL football. How can I watch every NFL game out of market? NFL Game Pass, of course. I'm watching you at work too. I appreciate that. You got Titans win the AFC South. Again, guys, it comes to the AFC South, Titans, Colts. Those are the two teams. I think not Carson Wentz. I think Matt Ryan's going to be sensational in the pocket for the Colts this year, mixing in with Jonathan Taylor in the run game. He can make every throw. Also, you got Ryan Tannehill, though, can make every throw in that playbook, and they have Derrick Henry as well. I think it's going to be a tight race. We can't discount the Tennessee Titans because they are a very, very good football team. As we know, they were the first seed in the AFC, and they ended the year on a bad note, and we love that as bettors because next year it tends to make them a little hungrier. We know hungry dogs run faster, and underdog's a hungry dog, and hungry dogs run faster. The Titans got upset last year in the playoffs, and that sat with them all year. I think that's going to help them hopefully win this division this year. I'm rooting for the Titans. I'm a big Titans guy. I love Jonathan Taylor. I think the Colts run game is very fun to watch, but I like the Titans. I'm a big Taylor Lewan guy, so I got to ride with them. Guys, drop some comments, drop some likes, drop some chats, follow the page. We do this every day. We do our betting show at 10 a.m. We followed up with the Cold Hard Football Facts show at noon. Before we get into it, let's talk about Cold Hard Football Facts. Guys, start your free trial today with Cold Hard Football Facts, your number one betting statistic website to win money. We have proprietary stats unique to us, guys, that help you win money. We're going to talk about them today in context with all this news around the league. Start your free trial today, people. Link in bio. You don't have to buy anything. Start the free trial. If you like it, great. If you don't, I don't really care. You can still listen to me every day. But I'll tell you what, the stats sell themselves. They are money. They helped us predict the Bengals going to the Super Bowl last year, and they also helped us predict the Chiefs not going to the Super Bowl. Boom. Link in bio. Let's ride. Okay, let's see here. What kind of comments we got here? Titans got a great defense. I agree. The Bears are imploding. The Bears are absolutely imploding right now. Roquan Smith, demanding a trade because the Bears negotiated out of bad faith. They didn't negotiate in good faith or whatever it was. And now he wants to leave. I could see him going to Baltimore. That would make Baltimore that much better. But again, we'll see what happens. When guys request trades, they usually get them because in the NFL, you don't want someone there who doesn't want to be there. You're paying them too much money to be there if they don't want to be there. Tanner, where are you at? Arlington, D.C. I'm in Boston right now. I had an epiphany this weekend. Steelers get a wild card spot. I'm taking the odds. Why? What was the epiphany and what psychedelic were you doing? Just like Aaron Rodgers. We're going to talk about that in a minute as well. Titans have no receivers, bad defense. Titans 100% will not win that division. That's a bit of a stretch. 100% will not win that division considering they were the number one seed in the AFC last year. They have Derrick Henry. They have a good offense. Their defense is strong. I think they're going to be just fine. Titans have a trash defense, no O-line, and no receivers. You're going to say the Titans don't have an offensive line that's freaking preposterous. They're going to be just fine this year, people. Tom Brady just retired again. It's breaking NFL news. Good one. If that was breaking NFL news, this whole system would literally shut off, and all we would talk about is that right now. We would just talk about Tom Brady if that was breaking NFL news. Hell, TikTok would probably shut down because I'm sure the Chinese love Tom Brady. Bears are imploding, and I love it. We got that. Comments rolling in here. America's team. I don't think the Cowboys are going to be good. We can get fascinated. We can get, we can become in love with the whole CeeDee Lamb to Dak connection. But in the end of the day, guys, who's the Cowboys? What are they going to do in the back end? What are they going to do? They're going to get burnt a lot. They're going to give up a lot of points. That makes me scared as a bettor. I think the Cowboys do score a lot. I just don't think they do anything long term. As we get into the playoffs, because the bottom line, they haven't done it, and the defense isn't built to win, and they didn't do enough in the offseason. We talk about it every day, people. Tannehill is not that guy. I agree Tannehill is not that guy, but the one thing Tannehill can do is make every throw in the playbook of the Tennessee Titans. That's what he can do, and that's why he was starting quarterback, and that's why he ended up beating out Marcus Mariota, and Mariota was shipped off. Now, Mariota playing for the Falcons, by the way, they're going to be one of the worst teams in football. NFL training camp tour is with them today on NFL Network, and I'm just going to laugh watching it because they're going to be so bad this year. So bad. Let's see. Titans D, solid at worst, top 5 at best. Solid at worst, top 5 at best. I agree with that. So for someone to say the Titans have no defense and no offensive line, that's absolutely preposterous. What about the Browns? Guys, the Browns situation, we've talked about it a ton. But when you look at the Browns, it's like, are they going to be good? Or are they going to be bad? I don't know. They're putting a lot of press on this Deshaun Watson case. Now that you got Kareem Hunt trying to leave, I don't think that helps. But again, their running backs are going to be fine. I personally think they will be fine without Deshaun Watson, but the biggest issue is going to be, how's it going to affect the team? What's the mentality going to be with the whole court case? And they got a lot of scenarios to play for too right now, because if Deshaun Watson takes this to federal court after the NFL appeal, he could play 6-7 games and then miss the remainder of the season. Then Jacoby Brissett's got to come in, or it's going to be Jacoby's team the entire year. That's the two scenarios. Deshaun Watson, someone came on my betting stream this morning and said Deshaun Watson's innocent. Deshaun Watson is not innocent. There's no way Deshaun Watson's innocent. He's going to miss time, people. The NFL wouldn't have appealed if they didn't want to put him away for a full season and take a lot of money from him. Skull Vikings, skull. Love that. Suit today. Hey, guys, suit every day at noon. The betting show is always 10 a.m. That's jersey. Suit for the or sport coat for the noon show. How do you think the Raiders are going to do this season? I think they're going to do pretty damn good. I think they're a team that we should be afraid of a little bit. And a lot of people are putting a lot of press into the whole Josh Jacobs situation because he got carries in the preseason. People think they're shipping him away. They're trying to make Josh Jacobs look really good, so he's trade bait. No, Josh Jacobs is a bell cow back, and he's going to be a bell cow back for the Las Vegas Raiders this year. Mark my words. I think he's going to have a good year. Will Watson play Friday in Jacksonville? I'm sure he will. I'm sure Watson will play. He's going to play in the preseason. He hasn't played in a year. They're going to have to give him reps right now to prepare. Two futures, Lamar MVP and Ravens to win the Super Bowl. No and no. 49ers. They got some problems right now with Trey Lance and the whole situation there with Jimmy G. But Jimmy G is a true professional, and we're going to talk about all this in a minute, guys. Remember, Tanner Kern, man, the people. I answer every freaking comment. The more comments we get, the more I love it, right? But we got a lot of news to talk about as well. We'll get into that in a minute. Titans had the 28th ranked defense last year. They're going to be better this year. It depends on what metric. Chris Sale, don't even get me started on Chris Sale, because this show will totally divert to a Red Sox show if we get started on Chris Sale. Texans blackmailed Watson for trying to leave Houston. Wait, what? The Texans blackmailed Deshaun Watson. He had 24 sexual assault cases against him. How? What? Money has to be deferred to second season. Watson, first year is no money. Well, yeah, first year he's got league minimum, and that's why the NFL is trying to take money away from him, because if he did miss 6 games this year, he would lose approximately $300,000, right? Next year, he's making 40-something million, right? So he'd lose a lot more. I think he'd lose 15 million. So the NFL is trying to take 8 to 10 million away from him, I believe, give him a full season. It's not good. It's not good. I have tickets. I was thinking of streaking the field and giving Deshaun a massage. Steelers playoffs. They made 0 changes to their defense. They're going to be just fine. Roquan Smith. Watson touched my assist. Okay, guys, keep the comments PG. This is a children's show. Raiders backfield is solid. The Raiders have a great running back room, whether Josh Jacobs is there or not, but I think Josh Jacobs is a bell cow back that can play 1, 2, and downs 1, 2, and 3. Texans knew about Watts. They did. What happened to the Robert Kraft case? It got thrown out, but that's also Robert Kraft too. I think the bottom line is here, Deshaun Watson's going to miss time, and we know that. But anyways, guys, before we get into this, remember, check out coldhardfootballfacts.com. Start your free trial. Look at the content on there. I'm writing articles every day. I'm posting videos on there as well. So make sure you go check it out. Follow us on Twitter at CHFF Stats, and follow the TikTok people. Follow the TikTok. Let's get into it here. Watson paid off all those women. How much did they get? He lost a lot of money paying off those women, because I think 23 of 24 were settled. I'm sure all 24 are going to be settled now. Miami's a playoff team. I agree. Miami did a lot in the offseason. They went out and they got guys that they needed to get, and they got the top tier guys on the market. So I think Miami's going to be good, but I'll say this right now. What are you going to get out of Tua? Is this a step forward for Tua? Because the pressure's on him. He's got an offensive-minded coach with McDaniels there. He needs to step up. He needs to be the guy. If he can't deliver this year, he's not going to be able to deliver at all, in my opinion. Atlanta's a dark force. Atlanta's going to suck this year. Anyways, let's get into it. The NFL is one entity. They paid Watson a lot of money. That's why they only gave him a 6-game ban. Colts are super. The NFL didn't give him a 6-game ban, guys. A third party gave him that 6-game ban. Judge Sue L. Robinson gave him the 6-game ban. The NFL, wants to punish him even more because they didn't feel the third party gave him enough. But she ruled that Deshaun Watson violated the personal conduct policy. Because of that, they were able to appeal the case, if that makes sense. Teddy Bridgewater will be starting for Miami by week 5. I think that's a bit of a stretch. 8-9, Dylan, 8-9 for Miami. I think, listen, guys, we have these big expectations, but do I trust the Miami Dolphins organization? They're not doing things right, and they're not building a foundation to win. When it comes to Miami, all that news coming out about Tom Brady and Sean Payton, them trying to attract those guys when they were under contracts with other teams, that doesn't look good. And the problem is that affects an entire organization. I know McDaniels this area is going to be a really good coach. He's an offensive-minded coach, and I already like him. him. But the bottom line is when you're cheating an organization, when you're doing the things from the top down at the ownership level, when you're not putting in the work to win now, it's build. Football is a long-term build, man. It takes every day doing the right thing. It's a process, and you got to build out that process. If you cheat that process, you're in trouble. Dolphins have tried to cheat that process for years, and it hasn't resulted in winning. So now they bought a lot of talent. Is it going to come together? I don't know, because from the top down, it doesn't seem like they're doing the little things right to win. They're just buying players. But the culture is the biggest thing, and it takes more than 1 year to establish a winning culture, and it also starts at the top level with the ownership group. I don't think it's there. I think Miami's going to be not great this year. I think they're going to be solid. I think they'll be over 500, but they're going to fight for a playoff spot. Don't think the Miami Dolphins are going to be this great team, right? Because overall, over the course of time, they have cheated the process from the top down, in my opinion, at least. And we can see that with this Sean Payton and Tom Brady developments. Anyways, guys, we got to get into the news stories around the league. We got a lot of news stories, but I love the comments. Keep them going. We'll get to them throughout the show. I love rookie sensations. Who do you have in mind? Rookie sensations. Here's what I'm hoping for. And I know I say I get to the comments and I keep going. I'm hoping Kenny Pickett can step up and do something in Pittsburgh. But to say he's going to be a rookie sensation, I don't know about that. There's going to be a lot of really talented rookies in this class. You look at the Jets, that whole team, that whole staff of rookies could lead this team to do something special this year. They're not going to be a playoff team by any means, but good news come for the Jets with their great rookie selections there. And then the Baltimore Ravens as well. I'm really looking for the Baltimore Ravens to step up with their rookie class. When will Odell be back from that injury? I believe it's a half a season. The Rams are looking at him. There's other teams looking at him as well, but I believe it's a half a season. Buffalo's looking at him based on the Instagram news from the other day. Bills at worst will be 13-4. I agree with that. Bills are going to be good. Pickett is the third string. He'll be starting by week 5, week 6. I hope he steps up and does something this year. Breece Hall is going to be great. Enough about Watson. Let's roll 4 record predictions. Cowboys 8-9. 8-9 or 9-8. That's what they're going to be. Vikings 10-7, Eagles 11-6, Broncos 8-9. I like those. I think Eagles could be. That's a little generous for the Eagles, depending on what you're getting out of Jalen Hurts. Jalen Hurts, top tier fantasy quarterback, but I need him to sit in the pocket and throw the ball down the field. I don't know if we're going to get that. How many wins will the Patriots get? Patriots are going to hover right around 500, I think. They have a great coaching staff, but they didn't do enough weapon-wise. I mean, they're going to be well coached. They don't put themselves in positions to lose games. They always do the little things right, which gives them a couple extra wins, in my opinion. But at the same time, too, what are you going to get out of them talent-wise? I don't think they did enough in the offseason, really. The year before they went out, they grabbed everyone. Didn't really help them. Cowboys, I mean, they made the playoffs, but they couldn't beat the Buffalo Bills, obviously. Cowboys, October, November, December, and they are done. Patriots, 11-6. Dylan, that's a bit of a stretch. But anyways, let's talk about the AFC. So let's talk about Mekhi Becton. We love talking about the Jets. I mean, I think everyone's excited to see how Zach Wilson's going to play this year, but Mekhi Becton going down is not going to help. Obviously, first-round draft pick in 2020. 2020, he played a lot. 2021, he only started 1 game. And then 2022, obviously going to miss the whole year now, most likely, with his surgically repaired right knee. It's his weight, guys, 360 pounds. You can't play this heavy. He's 360 right now. He was up to 400 last year. He was starting at 400 pounds before he got hurt. How are you going to play like that? How are you going to move like that? Those knees can't handle that weight, in my opinion. That's my take there. This is really going to hurt Zach Wilson's development. The Jets are slim at tackle right now, and I think this could cause Wilson to really, really be under duress this year. What do you guys think? Jets 3-14. Let's talk about the Jets win record right now. I don't think 3-14. I think that's a little low. There's a lot of hype around this team, but you're betting on rookies, and you can't bet on rookies. You can't do it. When the rookies come in, the Jets have a great rookie class, and they're set up well for the future. They have Zach Wilson, who's looking fantastic from what I hear in practice, but overall, these are the guys that you need to keep. Like a guy like Mekhi Becton, a first-round draft pick. You've gotten literally no production out of him. You got one good year, or one year where he started 13 games. Then you got 2 years where you're going to not have him. And then he's going to come back next year. Just doesn't. It's not like, this is the thing. You got to develop these young guys. You got to help them out. The Jets are ranked 14th in offensive hog index, which is our cold hard way to measure offensive line play. They're a middle of the road team. You lose Becton, you're going to be about a middle of the road team again, and that's not what Zach Wilson needs to be successful, people. Wilson already won the offseason. Wilson did already win in the offseason. Of course, Wilson won the offseason. He was banging moms, right? It's great. But you know what? At the end of the day, people, at the end of the day, that doesn't do it on the field. His jersey sales spiked because he had that situation. I think it's a cool storyline, but is that going to translate to wins? No. Bins up, maybe. Probably not. Patriots wide receiver core is not good. Jar Jar, life. That's the reason I would say bet against the Patriots this year is their wide receiver core. Again, though, they're going to run the football. They want to establish the run game. The AFC East belongs to the Bills. If you say otherwise, I don't know what you're going off of, I think the Bills win the division. If you want to put a sprinkle on the Dolphins to win the division, great. Again, I think they're cheating from the top down system-wise. They're not doing the process. Every day you got to come out and you got to hammer the process. They don't do that. They're cheating, obviously. We saw that with the Tom Brady and the Sean Payton situation. I like Zach Wilson. I like this Jets team. I'm rooting for them, except when they play the Patriots, but I don't think they're going to be able to do much this year. I think Zach Wilson has a better year, but when you're missing a guy like Mekhi Becton, when you're betting on rookies a lot on the defensive side of the ball, you are in trouble. You're in a lot of trouble. How many touchdowns does Russell Wilson throw? Give me an over-under number, and I'll let you know there. Roquan Smith requested trade. Hate to see him go. Listen, the whole Bears organization is just in shambles right now. They don't do the right things, and when you don't do the right things, it hurts you in the end of the day. Roquan Smith is a guy they needed to keep. This defense is going to fall apart without him, but Baltimore is probably going to benefit from it a lot. That's what I'll say. Rooting for the Jets, but Miami, but not Miami. I agree with that. Where does Roquan go? Rumors is he's going to go to the Baltimore Ravens. They really need a roaming linebacker, but we'll see what happens there. Roquan to the Bills. I think Bills is also a spot he could land. Send this to the man. Send the man people some likes. Send the man some people some likes. Follow the page. 30 for Russell Wilson, over under. Well, I think the Broncos have a disappointing season. I really do. But when you look at their receiving core, it's very, very good. It's very good. Cortland Sutton looks fantastic right now. I don't know if you guys saw that video with Cortland Sutton the other day. I think Pro Football Focus tweeted it out. We tweeted it out on our Cold Hard Twitter page. It was awesome. Amazing catch, right? You got Cortland Sutton, you got Jerry Jeudy. Those are two great targets right there. If they can get a little bit of a run game going in Denver, Russell Wilson can make all the throws. We know he can make all the throws, but I just don't think the team is going to be that great in the AFC West. But I would probably lean over on that touchdown total, depending on what he's done in his past few seasons, which I can look up right now for you guys. And again, last season's an absolute wash with the Seahawks, but we'll see. We'll see what he can do here. Russell Wilson. Let's see what Russell Wilson's done. All right. So last year he did 25 last year and he only made 14 starts. Yeah, I would definitely lean over. I think that receiving core is going to be pretty epic. Mac Jones under 25 passing touchdowns. Yeah, I think under 25 passing touchdowns is a decent number for Mac Jones. You just don't know what you're going to get out of him. And like I said, the Patriots are so unpredictable when it comes to their offensive strategy. Some days they're going to come out and run the football. Other days they're going to come out and throw it a million times, right? Probably less like that. But they're definitely going to come out and they're going to run the football as much as they can behind Damian Harris and their slew of running backs. So that puts Mac Jones in a predicament, right? If they can get the ground game going and they can find a way to win with the offensive line, Mac Jones is not going to sit back and throw it a million times, which doesn't result in a lot of touchdowns. You're already way better than Mel Kiper. There we go. And I'm only 24, so we love that. Only 24, way better than Mel Kiper. I appreciate it. Hey, why Beta Boy suited up and booted with the lip gloss? I don't have preemies. Let me tell you something right now, preemies. You should start your free trial at coldhardfootballfacts.com because that's for alphas. That's for alphas. Start your free trial, link in bio. Let's make it happen. Russell Wilson, 41 touchdowns, 5 interceptions. I think the interception number is very, very low, especially when you got guys like Jerry Jeudy and you got guys like Cortland Sutton. You're going to want to take chances down the field. You're going to want to take shot plays down the field. That does result in a little more than 5 interceptions. He had 6 last year. Again, he played very well. But the year before, when he threw 40 touchdowns, when they were taking more shots down the field, he had 13. So that's a number you do want to look out for. I think 5's a little too low there, a little too low. Again, guys, if you want to watch on YouTube, link in bio. Okay. Now a little lighter subject, I guess, than someone, tearing their kneecap up like Mekhi Becton. We need to talk about Aaron Rodgers. Miami winning 11 to 12 games this year could be a bit of a stretch. I think 11 at best, like 11 at best. Like I said, they got a lot of talent around them. But I'll tell you one thing, and before we get into Aaron Rodgers, because you guys bring up some great comments, and this should probably just be a comment, comment and answer show because I love talking to you. But the bottom line is nothing good happens, and you can tell me if something happens here, but nothing good happens. Nothing, absolutely nothing. When someone comes out on a franchise and said, hey, we are the balls. Remember the Celtics video from the season? That was a fan video back in the 80s or the 90s, right? But I think of that video, the Celtics are the balls. When a player's coming out and saying we're the best team and nobody is going to beat us and defenses should be afraid like Tyreek Hill has done, that's not good. In no world is that good for a team. That's putting a lot of expectations, putting a lot of high expectations on a team. And ultimately, I don't think the Bills live up to the hype. Bills being 14-3 is crazy. It's crazy, guys. This team fought to be 500. They got out to a slow start last year. If they get out to a slow start, forget about 14-3. You realize how hard it is to go 14-3 in the NFL? How hard it is? This is a tough league to win in. He's saying 14-3 from a team that hasn't won yet with a new head coach and a quarterback with a lot of question marks around him. Granted, he's in a great situation. They gave him a lot of targets. They gave him a lot of people to work with. But come on now. Hill and Waddle are going to make defensive coordinators go insane. I agree with that. I agree. But to say a team's going to go 14-3 is a little bit crazy to me. Colts 10-7 win the AFC South this year. If 10-7 wins the AFC South, 10-7, that just shows how bad that division would be. The team is the Texans. Nobody can beat us. No, the Texans can't beat anyone. You got your grammar wrong a little bit. How about the Broncos? We just talked about the Broncos, guys. Let's talk about Aaron Rodgers. This is a little bit of a lighter subject. There's no stats involved from Cold Hard here, but he has been a two-time MVP now because he's gone on a Peruvian retreat and taken psychedelics, ayahuasca, that's how you pronounce it. It's defined as a psychoactive beverage native to South America, is often used for religious, ritualistic, or medicinal purposes. I'm mind blown about Aaron Rodgers. When I look back at the stats and I remember this guy's won 2 MVPs and the media literally hates him. The media literally hates him, and this man has found a way to beat the system, because when the media doesn't like you, it's very hard to win MVP. But he has played so well over the past 2 seasons, despite the media hating him, that he can win 2 MVPs in a row and have not a lot of friends outside of the Packers organization. He's unvaccinated. I know that. On top of that, too, he's doing psychedelic drinks, and people don't like. The NFL investigated him for this. And apparently ayahuasca doesn't go against the NFL's drug policy. So that's good. Now, I want to talk about the Packers for a minute. Cash and Cody, you can chip in on this, right? Because you are a Packers guy. What's a bigger loss, in your guys' opinion? You can let me know if you're watching on YouTube as well. What's the bigger loss? Is it Davante Adams leaving? Losing a great quarterback? Losing a two-time, 2 back-to-back back-to-back all-pro MVP candidate or MVP winner? Or is it the other side where it's Aaron Rodgers, losing his star wide receiver? Personally, I think Aaron Rodgers is going to be okay. I think he's excited about this Green Bay receiving core. I know they're young and they got a mix of some old guys. It's not a talented room, but if anyone can make a receiving core look good, if anyone can make a receiver room look good, it is Aaron Rodgers, and we do know that. That's a fact. Packers will be lucky to win 7 games. Guys, we're flipping back and forth here. You're going to tell me that the Miami Dolphins in one of the toughest divisions in football are going to go 14-3, but a guy like Aaron Rodgers, who's perennially been in the playoffs, right, hasn't been able to win the playoffs that much, but he's been to the playoffs. He's taken this Green Bay team to the playoffs, and they've been a powerhouse in the regular season. You're telling me that they're not going to win 7 games. They're going to go 7-10? No way. Romeo Doubs looking good in camp. There you go. Honestly, I think Adams will struggle more. I think Adams going to have a good year. I don't think he's going to have as good of a season as he had with Aaron Rodgers. Just personally, that's my take. I'm not as high on Derek Carr as I am on Aaron Rodgers, obviously. But Derek Carr and Davante Adams did play together in college. I don't know if you guys realize that. They had a hell of a year together. I think Derek Carr led the nation in passing yards that year, and Davante Adams was right up there when it came to receiving yards. Rodgers doesn't have Adams, LMAO. Rodgers will always be good. Davante Adams didn't play a lot, and Aaron Rodgers was still fantastic last season too. Rodgers will always be good. He's easily going to throw 35 and 5 picks, 3 units, Bucks and Bills to win the division parlay. I agree with the Bucks. I agree with the Bills. I'd hammer that. AFC West is going to be insane this year. The AFC West is one of the best divisions. The AFC East is one of the best divisions. The AFC as a whole is just loaded. The AFC South sucks. I'm going to be honest with you. It's not a good division. Overall, the AFC, the AFC South's not great. If the Colts win that division at 10-7, it'll be interesting. AFC North, that's a great division as well, guys. There's a lot of good divisions out there. Chiefs still win the AFC West. Chargers at 8-9. 8-9, 9-8. I could see them. I could see them 10-7. It really depends what you're getting out of Justin Herbert. Now, most of the money is coming in on Justin Herbert for this MVP voting, but we will see who wins the NFC East. That's a big question, and I'm not exactly sure on that. Personally, if Jalen Hurts progresses like we think he's going to progress, I got to ride with the Eagles, but Cowboys also have a hell of an offense. I think they're going to give up points. I think, you can afford to give up points in the regular season, because when your offense is that good, you can get away with it. In the playoffs, you can't afford to give up points because everyone's good. And on top of that, it's going to come up to who's going to come down to who can beat up Washington. Don't let the Commanders, don't allow the Commanders to sneak away. The Commanders could be okay this year in the NFC East. I don't think they're going to be great, but I don't think they're going to be horrendous either. I think they're going to give up a little bit of a fight. They're going to be a lot better than the New York Giants. It's going to come down who can beat the Giants twice, who can beat the Commanders twice, and then how they do head-to-head wise. Trayvon Diggs is destroying the preseason. I know he is. It's not good. Aaron Rodgers won't throw over 7 picks this season, book it, 35 touchdowns. I agree with that. I agree. But yeah, Trayvon Diggs is getting cooked. I know you guys all saw the clip on Twitter that went viral of him just getting blown out. But again, guys, we got to see what he can do in a game time situation. Obviously, though, if he can't cover in practice, he can't cover in a game. And I'll say this too. With CeeDee Lamb, I saw a clip of CeeDee Lamb the other day, or today, actually, I tweeted it. CeeDee Lamb's catching a deep ball, right, from Dak Prescott, and everyone's going crazy. This is going to be an awesome connection. They're going to be amazing, right? But at the same time, people, let me say this. They're going against the Cowboys secondary, which isn't that good, in my opinion. I don't know. Jerry Jones, coach of the year, they should just let him coach. They should just let Jerry Jones coach, honestly, because that's what he does. All right, Justin Tucker, guys, he got paid. This is the best thing going for the Baltimore Ravens right now. It's not Lamar Jackson, it's their kicker, Justin Tucker, 5-time All-Pro. Tucker's an absolute game changer, 10 years with the team. He's made 91% of his field goal attempts. That's pretty epic. 1,360 points, most by any player through 10 seasons. And this is the best stat for Justin Tucker that I need to read to you guys right now. 16-16 on field goal attempts in the final minute of regulation. He's converted 58 straight in the fourth quarter and overtime, the longest active streak in the NFL. Boom. Sean Payton for Coach of the Year. I agree. Mike McCarthy will be gone after this year. Tucker's the best kicker in the NFL, and he's the best thing going for the Baltimore Ravens right now. Tree 1980, if you didn't know that. 100% the best thing going for the Baltimore Ravens right now. I think the Ravens are going to be good if they could land Roquan Smith. It's going to help their defense. Their defense is going to be just fine. I'm a little afraid of their secondary. They got a lot of young guys in the secondary you just don't know what you're going to get. It's hard playing there's quarterback, offensive line, I believe, and any position, the secondary corner, some of the toughest positions to play in the NFL, especially a young cornerback. It's hard. It's an adjustment. It's a speed difference, right? You got to think, what am I doing, right? And when you're locking up an all-pro receiver, it's not very easy. There's going to be a lot of them in that league in the AFC North and that division. So, Ravens-wise, I am slightly concerned about this team. I have my doubts about Lamar Jackson. I have my doubts about the secondary. Man of the people, I love it. TT1. Man of the people, Tyler Algier, Falcons. J.K. Dobbins, 1,300 yards. I could see that. See 1,300. I mean, listen, the bottom line, let me see what it's, I mean, the Ravens want to come out and they want to run the football. They want to work read option. They want to do all that stuff, right? But 1,300 is always, that's a lot of yards, guys. That is a lot of yards. Last year he did 805 in 2020, right? How much he missed last year? He missed the whole season last year. But, I mean, that's a lot. That's a lot to do. Talk Vikings. What do you want me to say about the Vikings? I talk about the Vikings a lot. I think the Vikings are going to be good. Again, I think the NFC North is going to be a tough division. I'd hammer the under on 1,300, 100%. Anytime you go to 1,300, like someone came on here and said Zeke Elliott 1,500 the other day. No, Zeke's never hit 1,500 in his career. Rise, Roger Goodell, so inconsistent with the suspensions. That, guys, the 6-game suspension had literally nothing to do with the NFL. That was a third party, Judge Sue L. Robinson, coming in here and making that ruling. That had nothing to do with it. The NFL's trying to go for a long time. If it was up to Roger Goodell, I'm sure he would suspend Deshaun Watson for 3 years if he could, honestly. We've seen what like Trevor Bauer got in baseball. If he wanted to suspend him, he would suspend him. But, it's not the new CBA came down to a third party, and that third party was Judge Sue Robinson, which gave the 6 games. Now the NFL's appealed it though. Pronounced T-Ty. T-Ty 1. Send a rose. I appreciate it. T-Ty 1. I appreciate you sending me a rose. Dalvin Cook, 1,400 yards. Here, we can talk about Dalvin Cook right now. And I'm going to say one thing about Dalvin Cook. Do not bet Dalvin Cook over on his rushing total. The man is already hurt in preseason camp before they put the pads on. Don't do it. Don't put yourself through it. He's going to get hurt week 3. God forbid. I'm going to say it right now. I don't want him to get hurt, but he's going to get hurt. We know he's going to get hurt. There are some people in the NFL that don't stay healthy. I have a great quote from the coach here. The coach. You guys know the coach? Have you ever heard of the coach? Have you ever heard of the coach? The coach is a big guy, becoming a daddy tomorrow. But anyways, the coach says NFL stands for not for long, right? Dalvin Cook, can't stay healthy. And when you can't stay healthy, you can't play and you can't rack up yardage and you can't win bets for us. Don't do it to yourself. Don't bet on Dalvin Cook. I'm telling you right now, it's going to save you some wasted energy. That's what I would say. It's going to calm you down a little bit. Sundays are stressful enough. Don't worry about Dalvin Cook staying healthy, people. And personally, I hate betting on running back over totals for the whole season because we just don't know. It's a physical position, right? They're getting hit every play. What do you think's going to happen if they get hit hard and they go down? It's not good, people, okay? Don't save yourself some time. Don't bet on the running back over totals. If you're going to bet on anything, bet on a quarterback's passing total. Future-wise, I like betting on wins. I don't like doing player props because the NFL stands for not for long, and there are a lot of injuries that take place. Vikings still lost all 8 games. That only tells us they can't win. I think the Vikings are going to be Justin Jefferson, 1,600. Justin Jefferson's a top-tier fantasy pick. If you're going to pick someone in fantasy football, it's Justin Jefferson. It's not Dalvin Cook, in my opinion. And Dalvin Cook's ranked high on a lot of fantasy boards, but he's going to get hurt. Let's see here. What do you think of Saquon? What do you think of Tyler Algier? I mean, I just don't think the Falcons are going to be that good. I think he's going to be talented, but I don't think the Falcons are going to be that good, right? So what are you going to get out of them? I think he's going to have a big year, but it's going to be Marcus Mariota, read option stuff. I don't see it that much. What do I think of Saquon? Here's my biggest issue with Saquon Barkley. Saquon Barkley doesn't know how to play running back in the NFL. And when you don't know how to play running back in the NFL, you're not going to be effective. In college, we saw it. Saquon's clean and 500 pounds. He looks amazing, right? He could break anything for a touchdown, TikTok, YouTube, anything for a touchdown. He can't do that in the NFL. It's a different game. It's a man's game. Now, I'm still saying Saquon's stronger than 90% of the people on the field, pound for pound, right? He's an absolute beast. But when you try to break everything for a touchdown, it ends up, 1, injuring you because you stay on your feet too long, and 2, it makes you less effective because you're taking more hits and you don't end up breaking for a touchdown. Get your 4 or 5 yards. You're going to break the big gaps when you can, right? The rock eventually breaks if you keep pounding enough, and the Giants are going to have to because Daniel Jones doesn't look very talented at quarterback right now. But the bottom line is when you get your 4 or 5 yards, there's sometimes where you got to go down and you can't force anything. And that's what Saquon's done in the NFL. And it overall has hurt him. It's caused a lot of injuries and it's caused the Giants a lot of stress and a lot of problems there. So this is Saquon's make or break year. This is Daniel Jones' make or break year, right? I mean, Saquon's always going to be with that team. Don't get me wrong. But Daniel Jones is the kind of guy that if this year doesn't go his way, this Giants front office has no allegiance to him. So look for that Giants team to have a lot of issues this year, I think. I think Saquon's going to have a decent season, but overall, this team isn't going to win, and that's going to cause a lot of reconstruction from the inside. Hell, Tyrod Taylor might be the starting quarterback by the middle of the season. Who knows? What do you guys think? You go on McCaffrey, 2nd overall in a 12-man full PP. Yeah, you got to take – no, don't – personally, we'll talk fantasy at the end here. We still have a few topics to talk about before we do that, but – personally, I think McCaffrey, all our stats have indicated that, if McCaffrey's on the field, he's going to be one of the best guys in the league. So make sure you go click the link in the bio, sign for a free trial today anyways. But McCaffrey is definitely one of the best football players in the NFL. And, it's funny, actually, the next topic we're going to talk about here is the quarterback battle in Carolina. But it really doesn't matter who's under center in Carolina because the only thing that matters for this Carolina Panthers team is Christian McCaffrey staying healthy. He's the engine. He's the engine to the whole car right now. I mean, that's the bottom line. They fired Joe Brady. Joe Brady's out as the offensive coordinator. I don't think the offensive issues were really Brady's fault. I think it was more because, McCaffrey wasn't on the field. And when McCaffrey's not on the field, it's really going to hurt your team. So personally, I think you got to take him 2nd overall. You got to take the risk. But if you don't, it's either going to pay off or it's going to fall apart, right? I mean, if McCaffrey, I've been on the bad end of McCaffrey, which sucks. But in fantasy football, I've drafted in the past 2 years. Am I going to draft him this year? If I have the opportunity to draft McCaffrey, I will because he's that effective. It's worth the risk. And you can always claim a running back off the waiver wire, but you can't draft a receiver 2nd. Don't draft Cooper Kupp till about the 7th, 8th pick. That's when you can start switching and saying, hey, maybe go with a wide receiver there. But you got Derrick Henry as well. I wouldn't take Dalvin Cook. Don't get me wrong. Don't take Dalvin Cook. That early in your draft, right? Let Dalvin Cook fall down the draft boards, but Cooper Kupp shouldn't be available he shouldn't be even considered, I think, till the 7th or 8th pick. Gronk is coming back to the Bucs. He could. ESPN signed the man. You guys tell him, write a letter to ESPN. Tell me, give me a contract. Vikings win the division. Possibly Jags win the division. Definitely no. The Jags are not. Do we see how bad the Jags looked in their preseason opener? I'm not saying that preseason means a damn thing, but they didn't look good, guys. Come on. Baker's QB1. He is QB1, but there's a lot of battles going on right now. We know that, all right? Darnold has earned a lot of respect within that franchise, which is good to see because it's going to create a little bit of a quarterback battle. Matt Rule's already come out and said, he's on the hot seat too, by the way. He's come out and said, hey, listen, I'm going to make the decision when I'm ready to make the decision. Ultimately, we know the decision is going to be Baker Mayfield. But keep this in mind. This is hard to believe. These guys are fighting for a job. In 2018, Mayfield was the first pick in the NFL draft, and Darnold was the third pick in the NFL draft, right? So it's pretty hard to believe. But the bottom line is, with Carolina, neither quarterback matters unless they can stay healthy. Now, I'll say this. Carolina's going to be decent on defense. If they can get Baker Mayfield back to his peak form, Baker Mayfield did a lot for the Cleveland Browns. If they can get him back to peak form, Baker Mayfield, and add in a healthy Christian McCaffrey, and they got DJ Moore and they got Robbie Anderson, this team's going to be pretty good. But that's the biggest question. DJ Moore and Robbie Anderson, as far as receivers go in fantasy football, personally, I think Mayfield, if he's starting a quarterback, you want to go out and get them. They have a little more value to me than Sam Darnold. I don't believe in Sam Darnold as much, and I don't think the coaching staff does either. I think he's going to be a backup quarterback, but there's still a position battle, and we still have to wait because anything can happen in the NFL. As we know, both these guys, I don't think these guys are going to play this week from what I heard from Matt Rule. In his press conference, it seems that they want to stick them in with the starting offensive line. The Panthers aren't putting anyone under center, but they do have joint practices this week. They're starting joint practice are starting this week and next week, right? I don't know. They're actually the Panthers are coming up to play the Patriots in joint practice, which is very exciting there. But that's going to be a big test for both those guys. Jaguars 5-12. That's more like it. Who gets the carries in New England? Damian Harris, 100%. The man, I love it. Dave Joseph, I love it. I love it. I love it. I love it. Stevenson has upside. Ramondre Stevenson has upside, but the biggest problem with him was he was a healthy scratch a lot last year because he didn't hold on to the football. And when you don't hold on to the football, it doesn't matter. If we can't bet on you and our stats have no ability to work if you're not on the field, right? So that's my biggest fear taking Ramondre Stevenson. If he's not on the field, if he fumbles the football, Bill Belichick is not afraid to put him under a healthy scratch. Damian Harris has a little more leeway. We saw Harris fumble the football last year in crucial moments, and he was back on the field the next week. Ramondre, he's teaching him how to be a professional. That's what Bill Belichick does. If you mess up, you get punished for it, and we saw that a lot with Ramondre last season. Rank the wide receivers 1 to 2 PPR redraft, DK PPR redraft. So do you get to keep anyone? Do you get to keep anyone in there? I mean, DK, no. DK's a no. I mean, you can't trust what DK is going to do, without a quarterback, right? I mean, you just can't. Waddle, I think, has more value. I think Cortland Sutton honestly has the most value. I do trust out of all the quarterbacks there. I trust Russell Wilson throwing to him. DJ Moore, I think he has value, but I think Jalen Waddle has more value. From what we've heard, Tua Tagovailoa is the best quarterback, most accurate quarterback according to Tyreek Hill. So let's see what happens. Why are you in a suit, Lloyd's Locks? Because I got to look good. It gets me in the mood to talk NFL football, baby. Come on now, Lloyd. It's not rocket science. Or Lloyd's Bots. I thought Lloyd's Locks was on here. I thought we were going big time. Lloyd's Bots is on here. Let's see here. We're on YouTube as well. So we got a fancy show. We got to get the clips for the Twitter. Come on now. I'm looking at you guys, but I also got to look at this camera. Tanner Kern, man of the people. I'm doing a lot of stuff. New York Jets, Becton's out for the season. He's not out for the season. He's probably out for the season, right? But from what we've heard out of Jets camp, at least right now, is that he's going to miss a significant chunk of time, which definitely means the full season. The full season. Okay, guys. So we're going to keep going here. Let me see if I missed any comments. Who's running the ball in Buffalo? You know who's running the ball in Buffalo? Josh Allen's running the ball in Buffalo. That's all it comes down to. They're going to throw the football, and they're going to run with Josh Allen. You got Singletary. You got James Cook. Singletary and James Cook are going to be the guys probably running the football the majority of the time. But Josh Allen had 120 carries last year, which is insane, right? And now his offensive coordinator is now the head coach with the New York Giants. So maybe expect a guy like Daniel Jones to run the football a little more. You never know. I mean, there were so many designed reads or designed runs, I should say, for Josh Allen last year. It's not even funny. I'm a man of the people. You know how you guys become a man of the people, though? Go sign up. Get a free trial at coldhardfootballfacts.com, guys. Cold Hard Football Facts, free trial, man of the people. I never steer you wrong. I've been using these stats before I work for this company, guys. And obviously, we still have a lot of free content on there. So check out the page, guys. Check out the page. Dalvin Cook is not solid. Here's the thing. Dalvin Cook is solid. He's a tremendous running back. But the problem is, if you can't stay healthy, I can't bet on you, right? Count out LA Rams, Matthew Stafford's elbow. Jessica. That's a hot take because yesterday, Matthew Stafford came out and was dropping dimes at practice. So I can't say that. He's not going to play in the preseason at all. Elbow is a concern as a quarterback, right? But from what we heard, I mean, Sean McVay was very pleased with how he threw the other day in practice. He said he wasn't going to come out and throw, and he went out and threw. So yeah, guys, I don't trust LA to get back because we say it every day. An underdog's a hungry dog, and hungry dogs run faster. The LA Rams are full, right? What makes us think they're going to get back after? I personally don't think they will. But again, it's very hard to get back to the Super Bowl. They could do it. I just don't see it happening. Honestly, if a couple plays go in favor of the Bengals last year in that game, I mean, I know Odell tore his ACL, but if a couple plays go in favor of the Bengals in that game, they win the football game. If my guy Joey Burrow has anything of an offensive line, they win the football game. It's that simple. Patriots win division? I don't think so. Bills losing the first round, book it. Possibly Patriots win division, though. I don't think so. Antonio Brown, someone sign him. AB, someone's got to sign him. There you go. Yeah, I mean, Antonio Brown's on the freaking Nelk Boys podcast. He ain't coming back. Guys, who in their right mind would sign Antonio Brown? Who in their right mind would literally sign Antonio Brown for what he has done to the Buccaneers last year? I mean, literally at MetLife Stadium, hopping off the field, doing the freaking, the Triple H entrance, leaving the state. Who the hell is going to sign that? Nobody's going to sign that. That's bad culture. The NFL, we hear it all the time, guys. It's all about culture. If you don't have a good culture, you can't win. Antonio Brown creates a bad culture. And maybe a guy like Tom Brady was the one guy that could tame it. But if you stick, I mean, who do you want to sign him? Antonio, someone sign him. I mean, half these guys in the NFL can't control their own teammates with people with good character, right? Antonio Brown's character is not good. He says he's going to play in the NFL again. I don't think so. XFL, that's more like it, JT. XFL. AB is not even that good. There are some of these receivers that had really good years, and then they become big names, and we think of them as gods, but in the end of the day, there's probably other guys that are better, and these NFL scouts and analysts know this stuff. They won the Super Bowl. How did he create a bad culture? Yeah, they brought it. Okay, well, they got rid of him, though. He left. Keep that in mind, too. I know they won the Super Bowl, but what happened the next year when he's hyping off the field, right? Who's going to sign that? You see that? Who's going to sign him? I guess I agree with that. I agree with that, Kev. You kind of got me there. But at the same time, too, Tom Brady was able to keep him under control, and he even couldn't stay under control for Tom Brady for longer than a half a season, whatever it was. Belichick and Kraft never had a relationship. Count the Patriots out of the playoffs. Belichick and Kraft never count the Patriots out of the playoffs. Brady created the winning culture. Tom Brady is a difference maker. Tom Brady can go to a coach because he's earned this right and say, hey, I want this guy. I know he's a troublemaker, but I want him and I get him. And they're going to do it because it's Tom freaking Brady. All right. Other than that, though, like Tua Tagovailoa hasn't earned that right. Joey Burrow hasn't earned that right. Josh Allen hasn't earned that. None of them earned that right. There's very few people in the NFL that can do that. One of those people is Tom Brady, though. We know that. All right. Let's talk about the Chiefs. The Chiefs aren't that good. What do we think? Let me get some comments in here before I start explaining this. The Chiefs aren't that good. What do you guys think? Let me know in the comment section before I get into talking about how the Chiefs collapsed last year in the playoffs against the Bengals in the AFC Championship game. 21-10 lead going into the half, and they fell apart in the second half, ended up losing by 3. You guys let me know what you think. I think the Chiefs are not that good. NFL is fixed at times, 100% guaranteed. I disagree with that. Here's why we think the NFL is fixed. Because Roger Goodell is going to go out and tell these referees to emphasize a certain rule. And we see it all the time, and it bothers us and it bugs us. This year, the rule is illegal contact. So we're going to see a lot of illegal contact this year. And that's going to make us think the NFL is fixed because we're going to see penalties that weren't exactly called last season. The illegal contact, I think it was only called 30 times last season. We're going to see it a lot more this season, people. So therefore, we're going to think the league is fixed. I don't think the league is fixed. I don't think refs are getting paid off right now. Just because that has happened before in the past doesn't mean it's happening every single Sunday. Refs mess up. They're people. Chiefs are trash. I agree with that. Chiefs will historically have one of the worst defenses of all time this year. I agree with that. Chiefs are on the down. Soon as you pay the quarterback and your NFL team suffers. I don't always agree with that, but again, an underdog's a hungry dog, and hungry dogs do run faster. We know that. Okay, here's what I think about the Kansas City Chiefs. I think they're in trouble because of a few areas. Patrick Mahomes threw the most interceptions of his career last year. Obviously, that's not good for a guy like Patrick Mahomes coming off getting paid, right? When you get paid, we expect big things from you, but it usually doesn't happen like that. It's like the Madden curse. When you get on the cover of Madden, you usually have a bad year. When Patrick Mahomes was on the cover of Madden last year, so maybe that's why. Chiefs finished 7th in our quality stats power rankings, which compiles everything that we track. Guys, that's not bad. Finishing top 10 is pretty good, but we need more out of the Chiefs. When we really break down the little areas of the game, they struggled. They struggled in the back end, right? They couldn't defend anyone. Defensive real quarterback rating measures how well we defend a defense, how well a team defends a defense. And we look at this as a critical stat for a defense. And opposing quarterbacks, 87.3 quarterback rating, 87.3. The Chiefs were not good in the back end. Okay, that hurts them. If you can't defend in the back end, you're going to have trouble, right? Their interior defense wasn't terrible. It wasn't bad. They were able to shut down the run, middle of the road team. But when teams hit them over the top, when they hit them at play action, they were very bad. On top of that, too, Patrick Mahomes was a top 10 quarterback, but I'm not putting all the blame on him. I'm not putting all the interception blame on him, because when you look at Patrick Mahomes, he had no rushing game. They were 17th in offensive rusher rating. And what makes you think they're going to be better this year, right? I don't think they're going to be better. They signed Ronald Jones. Great. Clyde Edwards-Helaire has been up and down and up and down and up and down. If a team ranks 17 offensive rusher rating, one of our metrics, and they can't run the football that well, obviously by the 17th, they're going to struggle. That's what it comes down to. Patrick Mahomes threw a lot of interceptions last year, but when you have a bad rushing team and then you have a defense that gets burnt a lot, you just put your offense on the field more and they have to score. So there's a few reasons Patrick Mahomes wasn't bad. I'm not putting it all on him, but I mean, the team's got to be better. I don't think they fix it at all. Mahomes will struggle this year. This has nothing to do with Tyreek Hill. I want to make that clear. Tyreek Hill leaving has literally nothing to do with this take here. I mean, when you can't run the football, if you rank 17th in offensive rusher rating, and then on top of that, you rank 25th in defensive real quarterback rating, you're going to have a very difficult time winning football games, because you're going to put it all on your quarterback, and even a great talent like Patrick Mahomes isn't going to be successful. We saw it last year. He threw a ton of interceptions. And the problem with this is, too, the Chiefs had such a great offensive line last year. They were able to protect in critical moments. I know they had some flaws down the stretch, but they were able to protect in critical moments. Patrick Mahomes was not able to find open receivers down the field because they couldn't run the football at a high rate, and defenses were able to go back and just defend the pass and worry less about the run. Clyde Edwards-Helaire, so up and down. I think Ronald Jones does get some carries this year. I think he ultimately makes the team. He's there on a one-year deal, right? But again, Ronald Jones, his best days are behind him. We saw when they could put Leonard Fournette in Tampa Bay, they did it, right? When games were on the line, Leonard Fournette was the one around the football down there. So don't expect too much out of the Kansas City Chiefs this year. I still think they can win their division, because in the end of the day, they have Patrick Mahomes, who's a talented quarterback. Even last year, throwing a ton of interceptions, he was still fantastic. They have Andy Reid, one of the best NFL coaches in the history of the game, people. But at the same time, too, you can't count on this team to do anything special in the playoffs, because when you get to the playoffs, everyone's good. We look at the Chargers. Justin Herbert, great, but he's still a young quarterback. The Raiders got a lot of upside, but they're still young, right? They haven't taken the next step, in my opinion, yet. I mean, I need to see what they can do under Josh McDaniels. And then when you look at the Broncos, I do think the Broncos are going to struggle. I don't know why. I just don't see it totally, right? So I still think the Chiefs can win this division, but once they get to the postseason, they're going to struggle. Don't bet them to go to the Super Bowl. They're currently third in Vegas right now to win the Super Bowl. Don't bet it. Save yourself some time. Don't bet that, and don't bet running backs over on their rushing total. That's what you don't want to bet when it comes to preseason betting. Bengals defense is sus. Bengals are suspect. Guys, the Bengals repaired and we're talking AFC North now, I guess. But the Bengals literally repaired everything they needed to repair. They repaired their offensive line. Their defense isn't great, right? The defense is going to have to keep them in games this year, but they got better on offense. And you're going to give Joe Burrow time to hit Jamar Chase down the field, T. Higgins down the field. I think they'll be fine. And they have a rushing attack with Joe Mixon. So I don't worry about the Bengals as much as I worry about this Chiefs team. The Chiefs didn't seem to get better. Running back wise, I'm afraid of their run game. And when they don't have a run game, it's going to be hard to win. Say what you want about the Bills. You can say the Bills don't run the football at all, but at least they have a run game with Josh Allen. Josh Allen's going to take the ball and run a lot. I mean, he carried 120 times last year. That's more than secondary running backs in the NFL. So the Bills do have a rushing attack in some aspect. Chiefs, I don't see it as much. And when you got Patrick Mahomes, pussyfooting in the backfield, not finding open receivers down the field, you can't win like that, because teams were able to drop back and cover receivers. Mahomes can run. Yes, Mahomes can run. But how many design runs is Patrick Mahomes doing? How many pure design runs is Mahomes doing in a game? Not that much, right? He's scrambling on back. He wants to throw the ball. Josh Allen, they're doing read option, and he's taking off half the time, guys. So, Patrick Mahomes can run, but we saw in the AFC Championship game last year, Mahomes couldn't find open targets down the field. He wasn't running. He was running around in the backfield, and it didn't work out. He can run. Don't get me wrong. He's an athlete, but Mahomes is best throwing the football. Josh Allen, best throwing the football. But there's a lot of designed runs that the Bills do call. That's my take there. Not that much. He's scrambling from pressure and trying to extend the play. I agree with that, Buckeye Bets. He can run, though. But when you're talking designed runs, you can't really do designed runs with quarterbacks in the NFL. Like Lamar, that's the reason he hasn't been effective. He gets hurt because he's not big enough to take a blow. Josh Allen's 6'6", 250 pounds. The man can take a hit. That's why you can do read option. That's why he can run the ball 120 times. If Patrick Mahomes ran the ball 120 times in the NFL season, he would not be effective because he's not built to take hits like Josh Allen. Let me give you a Patrick Mahomes' size right now. Patrick Mahomes' Size. I mean, they got Josh Allen running inside zone. Keep that in mind. They got Josh Allen running inside zone because he's big. Patrick Mahomes is 6'3", 230. So I guess he's a little bigger than I thought he was, right? But you look at Josh Allen. Josh Allen, 6'5", 255 pounds, right? Like Josh Allen's, he's a freaking motor. Way too early Super Bowl predictions. I wouldn't bet the Chiefs to win the Super Bowl. That's my take. If you had to make one, if I had to make one statement, it's don't bet the Chiefs to win the Super Bowl. But again, I think you got to go with the Bills, but these high expectations never pay off. No more baseball. Yeah, baseball's at 10 a.m. Pay less. Baseball every day, 10 a.m. I don't think he's that big, Buckeye Bets. I didn't think he was 6'3", 230. I thought he was more like 6'2", 220. But again, you know, it's an inch here, inch there, right? They're all big. But when it comes down to it, Josh Allen's built like a freaking man. Baseball's at 10 a.m. We're on we do this 2 hours a day, guys. Follow the page right now. If you're not following, I don't know what you're doing. Follow the page. We're on here 2 times a day. We talk this, we talk NFL news, we talk the questions you got to want to talk about. J.C. Jackson looks good from what I hear, right? He was that Pats whole defense down the field, but J.C. Jackson got lucky. I think he was in the right spot at the right time. I think Bill Belichick put him in the right spot at the right time. Again, that's because Bill Belichick's a great offensive mind. If we look back at the history of J.C. Jackson's career, he did get burnt a lot. He did get burned a lot, but he was in the right place at the right time. He's an NFL pro. I don't want to, you know, take a dump on J.C. Jackson by any means, but Bill Belichick put him in the right spot frequently. Now, from what I hear, J.C. Jackson is absolutely thriving. He looks really good, right? He's playing for the Chargers. Obviously, Chargers going to be good in the backfield, but it took a great offensive mind to put him in the right place. Rajon Rondo, Bill made Jackson. That's a perfect take. It took him he had to put him in the right spot at the right time. When is the college football show? College football show, we'll do that on Saturdays. So we'll do college football show on Saturday. We're not going to have like a pregame. I mean, we're not going to have a pre lead up college football show. I mean, we'll do that. We'll do a college football show Saturday mornings. We'll talk bets for college football exclusively. Sunday, we'll do NFL. Sunday, we'll have a big betting show. This is just our NFL news talk show, you know, answering questions, guys, talking about cold hard football facts. Sign up for a subscription, guys. Please, please, please. Free trial. Sign up. It can't hurt you. Sign up for a damn subscription. It's a free trial. It's free. It's free. Come on now. 1,000 Rays money line, 1,300 Rays run line. Damn, you're really going big. I like Rays +1 half day. But anyways, guys, 10 a.m. Sign up for it. Sign up for it. 10 a.m. Show up to the betting show. Sign up for the betting subscriptions, guys. Josh Allen, the new Tom Brady in their division. Guys, Tree, I like your comments. I think you had some really good takes. Free, Kev. Free trial. Boom. Listen, I think you had some good takes here, but that's a stretch. Nobody will ever be Tom Brady. He's the greatest football player to ever step foot on the gridiron. We can't say that. He's going to be the next best quarterback in the AFC East, but the new Tom Brady. No, the Patriots won the AFC East how many years in a row? I mean, the Buffalo Bills, they're going to fight. It's going to be a struggle. I don't see Josh Allen being Tom Brady. All right, let's talk fantasy for a minute, guys, and then we'll sign off here. We're almost been on an hour, but we'll talk a lot of fantasy tomorrow. Again, we'll be on every day here. Brady versus Burrow for Super Bowl boys. Brady versus Burrow. I could see that. I could see it happening. Mac Jones, 2 thumbs down. Jessica, I saw your comment the first time. I didn't acknowledge it for a reason. I think Mac Jones is a pretty damn good quarterback. I think he's doing the little things right. Bill Belichick has raved about him. We don't see Bill Belichick raving about anyone too much. High rollers, how we living, bro. We're living pretty good right now, man. Not going to lie. But what if Allen wins 6 rings in the next 10 years? Okay, what happens if Allen wins 6 rings in the next 10 years? Great. How about we focus on him winning 1 for Buffalo? 1. 10-0 sweep yesterday. I love it. Great job, high rollers. Great job. Way to be. Way to be. Brady made Belichick. I think Brady made Belichick, and I think Belichick made Brady. I think they went hand in hand, right? Mac Jones for MVP. I think Brady was probably a little more important. It's Tom Brady, right? In the end of the day, when there's 2 minutes to go and you got to go 80 yards to win a football game, Tom Brady was the one out there doing it. But I think Belichick's a phenomenal coach. Mac Jones for MVP, I think, is a little bit of a stretch, but you never know. Who should I draft? Melvin Gordon or Javonte Williams? 12-team PPR. Melvin Gordon or Javonte Williams? Melvin Gordon. Here's the thing. Melvin Gordon low-key scares me. Melvin Gordon low-key scares me. Let me look up some numbers here. Stay tuned with me right now. Melvin Gordon low-key scares me. Let me look up some numbers. Stay on. Tom Brady's phenomenal, no denying that, but Bill Belichick's different breed. I agree with that. I mean, they're both pretty good. All right, let's see here. Melvin Gordon last year, 203, 918, 8 touchdowns. What did Javonte do last year? I think his carries are going to be slightly down though with Russell Wilson personally. But I think he obviously, I mean, I think Javonte, they split time last year. I think Melvin Gordon's the guy you got to go to, but you don't really like two guys splitting reps evenly. You don't really want it. Yeah, Gordon Late's, I think, a good decision. Two guys splitting reps evenly. It's really not an ideal situation. First pick's always Henry or Taylor. I agree with that. Or Christian McCaffrey as well. If you're afraid of the injuries, I'd stay away from Christian McCaffrey. But when you got two guys splitting time evenly like that, it's hard to really say that you want to get someone. I would take Melvin Gordon late. At best, he's a flex option, though, in my opinion. Watson just drove me by in an ice cream truck. Okay, guys. All right. Watson just drove by in an ice cream truck. Watch out for Minnesota, Baltimore. I think Minnesota is going to be good. I think Baltimore is going to be okay. It depends what you get from Lamar Jackson. And the AFC North is also a really tough division. Even the Steelers, they're going to have a tough defense. And when you have a tough defense against teams like the Ravens and against teams like the Bengals with good offenses, it's going to be tough. I took Drake London late, put him at flex. Yeah, I mean, he'd be a flex option depending on who your other receivers are. I mean, he's not a wide receiver one, in my opinion. Not even close to a wide receiver one. London Drake. Bill Belichick reminds me of that old man puppet Walter from Jeff Dunham. I kind of agree with that. Drake London, let's see. Drake London. Yeah, I mean, you just don't know what you're going to get out of a rookie, right? So I would definitely stay away. Etienne or Robinson, are they going to split too? I believe they're going to split. From what I hear, though, Etienne's going to get, if they split, it's going to be Etienne getting a little more of the carries. I'd probably go with Etienne. From what I'm hearing right now, the whole Clemson connection down in Jacksonville looks pretty damn good. So I'd probably lean Etienne, in my opinion. Steelers coach chokes and Big Ben is gone. I mean, listen, guys, he's a Super Bowl winning coach, so I don't know if we can say that. What about the Cardinals? The AFC or the NFC West, I think it's a tough division. I put the Cardinals third right now, behind the Niners and the Rams in no particular order. But again, I think the Cardinals kind of scares me. Snag Pickens, Steelers late in drafts at wide receiver. Snag Pickens, there you go. I have Etienne on my bench. Well, guys, again, he's not. I wouldn't. If you have the ability to put Etienne on your bench, take Etienne. But if you're taking Etienne or Robinson, if you got to pick between one, I'd go Etienne. No problem, guys. Thanks for showing up for the show, guys. This was great. Thanks for showing up the show. We appreciate it. Every day new. We're just getting this started. It's only our third show doing this, guys. We're on YouTube as well. Cold Hard Football Facts on YouTube. So make sure you check it out, guys. So come over there, subscribe. Links in the bio. We're going to sign off here. Make sure you start your free trial. Go up, click the link in the bio. Start your free trial, coldhardfootballfacts.com. These stats are going to help you win bets this year. Is this the Fantasy Football Show? Fantasy news, betting, guys. We talk it all kind of. We answer your questions. I cater to your questions. I think Niners take the division. I don't think that's wrong, Dylan. I think they could definitely make a push there, depending on what you get out of Trey Lance. But, guys, we talk the same stuff, betting, fantasy, news every day. We kind of go off those topics. We talk about our Cold Hard Football Facts. Number one way to help you win bets this year. Thank you for your time, Bubs. I appreciate it. Jacobs or Kareem Hunt? Well, considering we don't know where Kareem Hunt's going to be right now, I'd go Josh Jacobs. From what we saw in that preseason game, Josh Jacobs is going to be a number one guy out in Oakland. Or not Oakland, in Vegas. This is the Beta Takes on Sports show. You know, it's funny, preemies. You're still watching, though. I might be a beta, but you watch me for an hour. So, it's pretty good on my part. Anyways, guys, I appreciate it. We're going to sign off here. Is this OBJ to Buffalo anything more to BS banter? No, not right now, because he's not going to sign with anyone until his knees are repaired. It's going to be at least 6 to 8 weeks from what I hear. Eight weeks of the season, right? So I wouldn't worry about it. TK, I'm the biggest Pats fan there is, but I can almost guarantee the Bills are going to the Super Bowl. Guarantee the Bills are going to the Super Bowl. I'm a Pats fan too. I mean, but Bills, I think they win the AFC. I think the AFC is going to be tough to win, though. That's my take. Is OBJ worth drafting? Yes, late. I study the ultimate beta, you to fade your habits. So you watch me for an hour, beta boy. So I guess I'll take it. But anyways, guys, we're going to sign off here. Hope everyone has a great day. We'll see you tomorrow for both shows starting at 10 a.m. with the betting show. Outro, hit it.
Yeah, ain't shit sweet, ain't shit funny. Look, it's blue tints on my